You're watching Euronews now. Thanks for being with us. Let's take a look at our top stories this hour. There's international condemnation as atrocities committed by Russian troops are revealed after their retreat from the Kiev region. Ukrainian President Zelensky calls them butchers, but Moscow says the scenes were staged by Ukraine. Hungary's Viktor Orban and Serbia's Aleksandar Vučić declare victory in their country's elections, marking big wins for nationalists in Eastern Europe. And a preliminary hearing in the trial of former Italian Prime Minister Matteo Renzi is underway in Rome. Now a senator, he denies charges of illegally financing a political party.
As Russia withdraws from areas surrounding Kiev, a horrible picture is starting to emerge. Bodies of civilians have been left strewn across the streets, some with bound hands, being killed at short range. So far, the bodies of 410 civilians have been removed from towns surrounding the greater Kiev area. The pitiful signs of war. No one even bothered to finish filling this mass grave in. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky denounced the Russian leadership as being responsible.
I want all the leaders of the Russian Federation to see how their orders are being fulfilled. And there is a common responsibility for these killings, for this torture, for arms blown off by blasts, lying in the street, for the shots in the back of the head.
UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres used social media to express his shock, saying it was essential that an independent investigation leads to effective accountability. Many European politicians have condemned Russia. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz says further measures against Moscow must certainly be considered.
We will decide on further sanctions in the circle of allies in the coming days. Russian President Putin and his supporters will feel the consequences, and we will continue to provide Ukraine with weapons so that it can defend itself against the Russian invasion.
Russia's defense ministry has, however, rejected allegations of atrocities against civilians in Bucha and other suburbs of Kiev. It's requested that the United Nations Security Council convene on Monday to discuss what it calls provocation by Ukrainian radicals in the town of Bucha.
A number of people have been killed in Russian shelling of the city of Kharkiv on Sunday. According to the regional governor, 7 people died, with at least 34 injured, including 3 children. Kharkiv, which lies in northeast Ukraine, close to the Russian border, has been heavily damaged since Moscow launched its invasion on February the 24th. Several Russian rockets also hit Ukraine's Black Sea port of Mykolaiv. Ukraine's emergency services say they've recovered further bodies from the regional government building, which was struck by a Russian rocket 6 days ago. The death toll has now reportedly reached 36. Air raid sirens rung out once more Sunday morning in Odessa, where thick columns of smoke billowed from different sites in the city. No casualties were immediately reported by Ukrainian authorities, but logistical infrastructure appears to have been hit. Fuel storage terminals were seen to be on fire. Southern ports have been relentlessly attacked by Russian forces as they try to cut Ukraine off from the Black Sea and create a corridor from Russia to Crimea. Russia is known to be redeploying its troops towards the east and south, with Ukraine's leadership warning of heavy battles ahead.
Viktor Orban has won a 4th successive term as Hungary's Prime Minister, capping off a campaign dominated by his controversial stance on Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In his victory speech, Orban appeared to mock Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian leader who has repeatedly challenged Orban over an unwillingness to condemn his close ally, Vladimir Putin.
Now we have to battle the biggest forces, the left wing at home, the international left wing, the Brussels bureaucrats, all the organizations of the Soros empire, the international mainstream media, and finally, the Ukrainian president as well.
Ennyi ellenfelünk egyszerre még sosem volt.
The contest had been expected to be the closest since Orban took power in 2010. Thanks to Hungary's 6 main opposition parties putting aside their ideological differences to form a united front against Orban's Fidesz party. But Peter Markizai, who fronted the United for Hungary opposition group, didn't even win his home district. The United for Hungary group could only conjure up 34.4% of the vote, with Fidesz winning it with 53.7%. Orban's party has strengthened its hold on office through a favourable media ownership structure and changes to the voting system that critics say renders elections unfair. The Clean Vote Coalition, an alliance of 4 Hungarian NGOs, said it had received numerous complaints of voting irregularities.
Hungary's controversial Prime Minister Viktor Orbán is set to continue governing the country. It will be his 5th term in power and is likely to be his most difficult period yet. Domestically, he is likely to face unprecedented economic problems. Rising energy and food prices will undoubtedly put pressure on Orbán, at the same time as an ever-increasing budget deficit. Experts are already warning the next government will have to opt for unpopular austerity measures. On external relations, the war in Ukraine is rapidly changing things for Orbán. The Prime Minister is facing growing isolation due to his close ties with Russian President Putin, and also straining his ties with close allies like Poland. And it is almost certain that pressure from Brussels will continue to grow. The EU's pandemic recovery funds are currently blocked over corruption concerns, and the bloc's rule of law conditionality is also lurking around the corner. Over his next term, Orbán looks like he will face challenges both home and abroad, and it's still not clear if it will force him to change course. But like most things Orbán, he will always enjoy the fight.
Serbia's President Alexander Vučić has claimed victory in both Sunday's presidential and parliamentary elections. Vučić is predicted to end up with nearly 60% of the votes, avoiding the need for a second round. He was keen to emphasise both good EU and Russian relations.
I believe that there are many challenges ahead of us. But what is most important for Serbia is to have good relationships in the region. We will continue with our EU path, but at the same time not to ruin our ties with traditional friends.
Zdravko Ponos, a retired army general representing the pro-European and centrist Alliance for Victory coalition, is set to come second with around 17% of the votes. In the parliamentary elections, pollsters predict Vučić's Serbian Progressive Party will take the most votes, around 43%, while the main opposition group was only on 13%. Running in the shadow of the war in Ukraine, Vučić has refused to put sanctions on Russia, earning the EU's displeasure. It's put Serbia under pressure to choose between the two powers. But Vučić is keen to balance both aspirations to join the EU without jettisoning historical and cultural ties with its larger Slavic cousin to the east.
Stay with us on Euronews now for more top news stories and analysis after this short break.